Hello, this is Aaron Schulman with the Market Mastery Method, and I'm going to dive in here with you to the market color calculator. What's a great thing to do for your brand is to figure out what your colors are for your branding and your visual presentation so that you can convey the visual message that the heart or the feelings that you want to convey through your verbal message and your marketing, which is your offer, your customer service, the whole customer journey is also expressed through a good balance of colors that represent you and your brand, your deliverables, the feelings, everything you're trying to convey with your brand. So it's no doubt that colors invoke different feelings or ideas that are conscious sometimes, but mostly subconscious. And every time people see colors, they are drawn to certain feelings or messages, ideas, or emotions. It can also be obviously affected by the current mood or frame of mind they're in at the time. But what we want to do is get the colors that you want for your brand figured out to represent the mood and the feeling and the basically uh, the the avatar or the idea that you're trying to project to them. Okay, and so it's not rocket science, but do some research, go through this framework. It's a very simple framework. Go through the framework and figure out what colors you're going to use and test them out. You know, if you have the time and the resources, you can test them out, get some feedback. But you want to be careful too where you get your feedback. Okay, not all feedback is equal. The best feedback is actually through paying customers. So if you have some paying customers, you're just getting started or you're rebranding, it's good to get a lot of feedback from paying customers because um, feedback from people who aren't paying might not necessarily from your grandmother or your sister's cousin's niece's aunt. They might give you their impression or their idea, but it may not reflect your target market, if that makes sense. So, and if you don't have that in your back pocket, if you don't have customers or prospects that fit your ideal target, you can do a small ad campaign and push it out there in front of people who fit your ideal target and get some feedback. Okay. So, anyways, go through the color psychology. You know, different colors tend to represent things, and I want to say there's no real Bible on this, okay, for lack of better terms. But and you're probably going to find some conflicting ideas online if you look at different branding sources. And I encourage you to do that. Go ahead into different websites, different branding people who and companies who specialize in colors and branding presentations for specifically color matches, and just get a good feel of it so you know what you're dealing with. Okay, so red, obviously you got passion, energy, urgency, excitement. Red can also be a warning color, so you have to think of the positives and negatives. Orange, enthusiastic, creative, friendliness. There's warmth. Also understand there's warm and cold colors, and decide if you want to use like tertiary colors, if you want to use primary colors, if you want to use secondary colors. There's a little wheel down here at the bottom. You don't have to go crazy about this unless you're a company who does branding for a living, okay, and that's all you do. Then obviously you really want to dive deep and become an expert at this. So, anyways, look through the chart we have here of the different colors. Blue, I love blue personally because my brand represents trust, dependability, peace, calmness, professionalism, security. I want to convey all those that create peace and trust, and get away from the idea of urgency and all that stuff. And so I use blues. Sometimes I'll use oranges because of it draws a little pop or has enthusiasm, creativity, friendliness, confidence. And I like the grays and whites and blacks and shades of those as well. So figure out what your brand is, and you can go through other frameworks as you're going through other frameworks for your brand voice as well, which we have another framework on that. And you try to get these lined up as best you can. Okay. You know, purple, luxury, creative, wealth, wisdom, spirituality, royalty, and these will start to paint a picture in your head. Okay. White, purity, simplicity, cleanliness. I don't have to go through all of them, but you get the picture. You think of like companies like UPS and start to look at different brands out there. UPS, it's like dependability, stability, reliability, warmth. Okay, if you're doing a gardening thing, you might have you know, greens and browns and earth tones, things like that. Define your brand's personality message. basically work through your voicing first, and then you can come to your colors, or you can do these together. It could be kind of fun. Um, Attributes, emotions that you want your brand to embody. For example, like health focus brand right here could align with green tones and earth tones, tranquility tones. Luxury brand might be black and gold, even purple for royalty. Health focus could be green and white for freshness or organic, those kind of ideas. Tech company could use blue and gray for trust, peace, professionalism, all that stuff. Okay, so just work through this. Select harmonious color combinations, and just read through here and test different ones. Like blue and orange, I like the combination of blue and orange for mine. It adds the trust and the peace and the stability aspect, but also a pop of vibrancy and life and some excitement, and all the while building trust. Analogous colors, colors right next to each other versus triadic colors on the wheel. When you look on the wheel, you'll see what this means. So complementary colors, colors that are opposite of each other on the wheel. Okay. And then consider your proportions. So figure out what your dominant color is, your secondary color, and your accent color. These are just guidelines. And if you're not a branding or color expert, obviously you want to have someone in your wheelhouse who can give you guidance on this, and of course they can give you guidance for the general foundation, but then always go to your market and test it out. You don't always have to go to your market to test this out. Okay. But if you can, you always want to go to your market to test it out. Okay. Make sure that it represents your voice, your brand, what you're trying to convey. All right. And then when you're done, go ahead and record your choices, your hex colors, or however you want to convey your colors. You can put it in one place. That way, anytime you outsource any of your branding visuals or things, you have everything created right here. That's the whole point of this process, is to go through the deep work of your entire market mastery method message, your avatar, all these things we're putting together, give the verbal and the visual framework that you need to be able to create everything else that goes out to the public and internally as well. So it's a complete program. This is just one of the bells and whistles. Okay. So here's an example that I pasted in here from I have the site credit here from a logo company. And this just gives their example. It's a pretty neat infographic here that gives some different brands out there, major brands that a lot of people recognize, plus the different colors that they chose and how that fits in the spectrum of feelings that they're trying to convey. Okay, then down here's simple color wheels. Obviously, this isn't the end-all source for this. If you want to go in a deep dive, you can obviously go to ChatGPT or go to the internet and look up other ideas if you need more. But this should be, honestly, for 99% of you who are watching this or going through this guide, this should be sufficient for you to finish up get your logo, brand colors, and all that stuff 90% decided, if not 100% decided. So, and here's a couple color wheels just to show you the warm, cool colors if you're not familiar with that. And then your primary, complementary, and there's other ones that give you the tertiary and secondary. All that means is a secondary color between orange and yellow is this yellow-orange. Then a tertiary color would be between the secondary color and a primary color if you were to blend them together. That's all that means. So anyways, dive into this. Use this framework to help clarify what your brand voice is in terms of color and presentation, and have fun while doing it. If you have any questions, of course, reach out, leave a comment, let me know what you need help with.